Hi everyone, welcome back to Splash Page, and we are continuing our series on The Boys Season 1 and 2, and right now we're going to jump into Season 2, Episode 3, and a quick recount of what happens. So, let's jump right in.
Hughie watches a Billy Joel video on his phone on a boat with the boys. Butcher approaches to apologize, but Hughie punches Butcher in the face, probably hurting himself more than he hurt Butcher. Milk breaks it up, the phone rings, Mallory lets Butcher know a team will be there in 3 hours. The target, Kamiko's brother, is on the boat.
Kamiko comes to see her brother, locked up in the hold. They sit for a while and talk about when they were kids. He knows the Americans will torture him and begs her to let him go. She says sorry, but she can't let him go and leaves.
Cut to the club, bottles full of champagne and vodka. A-Train is hanging with his boys. A waitress hands him a napkin with a phone number scrawled across it. He tosses it away and walks out of the club into the harsh New York daylight. Suddenly, his heart starts beating hard, but he overcomes it. The V is not doing his body any favors.
Homelander sits at the breakfast table with Becca and Ryan, pretending to be a wholesome, happy family. He might actually believe it, but when Ryan asks for breakfast in Spanish, Homelander decides he needs to stop this and takes Ryan outside to play.
Homelander brings Ryan up to the roof to look out over the neighborhood, then pushes him off the roof, thinking it'll push his kid to fly. Turns out Ryan was right, though. He plummets to the ground and smashes into the grass. His mom is not happy about this, to say the least, but Homelander isn't all that concerned. It's only a 20-foot drop. Becca yells at Homelander, who grabs her arm, which gets Ryan angry enough to punch his father and toss him a few feet back as his eyes light up red. He runs inside with Mom and tells Homelander to leave them alone.
We see on the news that the information about Compound V has been exposed. Superheroes aren't born, they're made. Some of the seven, including the Deep and Black Noir, don't seem to be taking this news well.
Hughie and the boys, on the other hand, are very excited. Everyone except Butcher, of course. He's annoyed Hughie's been communicating with Starlight.
Frenchie comes to see their prisoner and asks him to teach him Kamiko's sign language, but Kamiko's brother refuses. Frenchie leaves a bag of chips and soda. He manages to use his powers to bring the can over to him, rip it in half, and use it as a lockpick and get him out of his chains.
The NYPD shows up in a helicopter and demands Butcher and the boys surrender. Turns out the boat isn't borrowed from a friend, but more stolen from the dock. Butcher tries to talk to the cops, but Kamiko's brother escaped and sinks the copter. Despite Hughie's protests, Butcher takes the boat and leaves.
Eagle and the Deep discuss the Deep's current depression over learning about Compound V. Carol from the church bursts in excitingly and tells the Deep that the leader of the church has decided it's time for the Deep to get back into the Seven.
Mallory and Butcher talk on the phone. New deal. They just crashed a police helicopter. Mallory's not coming to save them. The boys have to make their way to a CIA safe house in Hazlitt.
At Vought Tower, Stan Edgar talks to the Seven. This doesn't happen often. He's giving the team the rallying speech. Edgar puts their priority on stopping the Suit terrorists. The team starts bickering and Homeland puts a stop to it. They have to pull together. Not Vought, but the Seven. He gives his own rallying speech to pull the team together. Companies come and go, but the world still needs superheroes. Stormfront seems impressed.
The boys are closing in on a CIA safe house when the boat gets smashed by a school of sharks. They jump into a smaller speedboat and take off towards the shore. But a whale surfaces between them and the shore. The Deep is riding on his back.
The Deep has his hero moment, standing tall on top of a whale, but Butcher guns it and rams directly into the side of the whale, impaling it on the beach.
Somehow everyone seems to have made it out alive, but Hughie's got a touch of the PTSD and decides to sit inside the belly of the whale. Butcher's willing to leave him, but Mother's Milk sits down next to Hughie inside the whale to wait too until Hughie is forced to get up and leave so that Milk won't also get caught. The boys make their way through the sewer system.
The Deep mourns the loss of the whale as the rest of the Seven show up. Stormfront calls him out for joining the Church of the Collective, and Starlight lets him know there's no way she'll let him back into the Seven. In the meantime, the Seven head into the tunnels to find the terrorist. Homelander leaves Deep behind.
A-Train is having issues running through the tunnels. His heart is giving out. Homelander sees this but leaves it alone for now.
Hughie and Starlight run into each other in the tunnels. Homelander joins the party and commands Starlight to kill him. Starlight prefers to bring him to the police, but Homelander gives her an ultimatum. At the last second, Butcher shows up, and with Homelander distracted, Kimiko's brother, the terrorist, drops a train on him.
Kimiko's brother tries to escape, but Kimiko catches up with him, tells him she loves him. Just then, Stormfront shows up and blasts them with purple energy straight through a building, finally killing Kenji as Kimiko quietly watches from behind an air duct. Just after taking out the terrorist, Homelander drops out of the sky, annoyed he didn't get the kill himself.
The Seven spend some time handing out care packages to the people injured by the super terrorist attack as Stan Edgar talks to the news, denying any knowledge about Compound V. He lays all the blame on Stillwell. The boys recoup in a hiding spot, watch the news, still covered in blood.
Edgar introduces Stormfront, who gives a "they're the real heroes" speech to polite applause, then takes in all the accolades Homelander wanted for himself. Kimiko stares at the television, seemingly memorizing Stormfront's face. That was episode 3. Click here for episode 4.
We are giving away 2 toys. The first is a Vax toy, and the second is a Percy toy. And we will be giving them away once we hit 2,500 subscribers. Just make sure you subscribe to our channel and leave a comment on this or any of our videos, and you'll be entered to win for free.
Good luck to you all.